La emisión está comenzando. Todos los asistentes están en modo de solo escucha.
Hello everyone and welcome to our second webinar. I see that there are still people coming in, so we're going to wait for 3 more minutes. So 10:03, we're going to start with the webinar. In the meantime, if you want, let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to do. On your right-hand side, you will have a questions panel. You can write questions at any point during the webinar, and we will reply to these questions towards the end of the webinar. I will repeat this for other people that are coming in, but 10:03, we're going to start with our webinar. Thank you very much for your patience. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. I see that there are still people coming in, but since we appreciate your punctuality, we're going to start as punctual as we could without losing any of you. So today is our second webinar, which is about, as you can see, Machu Picchu. This is our ultimate Machu Picchu guide. We're going to, as it says, guide you through the process of how to get to Machu Picchu, the things you need to know before you go to Machu Picchu, the things you need to know while you're in Machu Picchu, and how you can complement this journey as well. Before we begin, something important. On the right-hand side panel, you have a questions button. You can press it. You can make questions throughout the webinar. And towards the end of the webinar, we're going to be replying to all your questions, just in case they're duplicated questions. There are questions that can be replied as a package. I'll make sure that that happens, but all of your questions will be answered. And for that, today we have a very special speaker. He is one of our commercial leaders, Giancarlos Medina. He has plenty of experience not only in Peru, but also when it comes to Machu Picchu. So without further ado, I'm going to leave you with Giancarlo so that he guides you through this Machu Picchu webinar.
Thank you, Mara. Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you for your time on this interesting webinar. How many of you have found it confusing to say Machu Picchu? Or just simply haven't had the opportunity to visit. Well, I am Giancarlos Medina, sales leader at Metropolitan Touring, and today I will accompany you in this summarized, powerful, and updated presentation on the ultimate Machu Picchu guide. Okay? We are going to talk about the weather, what to pack, the best time to travel, how to get Machu Picchu, and much more. Okay. Okay, before starting Machu Picchu, I will talk about Metropolitan Touring. Okay, here you have some good reason to choose Metropolitan Touring as a partner. As a regional company with 70 years of experience, we have offices in Ecuador, Peru, and Colombia. We are product owners having 3 cruises in Galapagos, the Santa Cruz 2, Isabela 2, and La Pinta, an hotel in Galapagos, which is the Finch Bay, the exclusive Relais Chateau Casa Gangotena Hotel in the historical center of Quito, and of course the Mashpi Lodge, which is a luxury property 3 hours away from Quito in the natural reserve of Chocó. We are very committed to preserving the environment and supporting communities in each of our destinations. We work very hard to be reliable with you and have our team very well trained. Our passion for these magical destinations guides our vision in everything we do, okay? That is why our new tagline is, "Your journey inspires us." Okay, so now let's go with Machu Picchu, the lost city of the Incas. Well, this stunning citadel was a mystical place of worship, a place to observe the stars and the private estate of the Incas. Machu Picchu is a UNESCO World Heritage Site due to its cultural and natural significance for humanity. In 2007, Machu Picchu was selected as one of the new 7 wonders of the world. This site is situated in Urubamba province in the region of Cusco above the Sacred Valley. So as you can see in the map, this part in color blue is the region of Cusco, and it is located in the south of Peru. Okay, well, if we talk about the altitude of Machu Picchu, we're going to see that it's about 2,430 meters above sea level, or 7,970 feet above sea level. Okay, the word Machu Picchu comes from the Quechua language, which translated to English means old mountain. And this citadel is divided into 2 sectors. Okay, we have the agricultural area, and also we have the urban area, which includes palaces, temples, and observatories. Okay, how to get Machu Picchu? How to get Machu Picchu? This is a very useful map that allows us to understand the route to reach Machu Picchu. We have only 2 options to get Machu Picchu. We have the regular way by train, or we have the option of Inca Trail, okay? If we go by train, we recommend and operate this service generally from Ollantaytambo train station, located in the Sacred Valley. This is because during December to April, the train portion from Cusco to Ollantaytambo, which is in this part, from Cusco to Ollantaytambo, is not enabled. Okay, apart from this, all of our travelers generally begin their stay by arriving directly to the Sacred Valley to reduce the symptoms of altitude sickness. Okay, the average time from Ollantaytambo train station to Aguascalientes train station, it's about 1 hour and a half. Okay, here we have 2 very good options of train services. On the right side of your screen, you have the first class train. This service has an observatory lounge with live music, gourmet menu, bar, and outdoor balcony. Okay, the first class train only runs 3 days a week, on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And on the left side of your screen, you have the luxurious Hiram Bingham train with live traditional Peruvian and international music. This train includes brunch or gastronomic dinner. It depends of what service you choose. A bar car with the best Peruvian drinks, and an observatory car to enjoy the Peruvian landscape. And this train runs every day, okay, except on the last Sundays of each month. Here we have also two very good alternatives of panoramic trains. We have the Vistadom train and the 360 train. Both of them have panoramic windows located beside and above your seat. And also passengers will receive a snack made from local ingredients, okay? There are other options, tourist options, but this kind of trains we are recommend for you passengers. Here we have the other way to get Machu Picchu, okay? We have the Inca Trail. As I said before, this is one of the most beautiful hikes in the world. We need to keep in mind that in the Inca times, the Inca Trail network was of great importance, even more than the archaeological site. We can do the short hike of 2 days and 1 night for those who want to live the experience but don't have much time. Okay, for this hike, it's not necessary to camp because the overnight will be in Aguascalientes town. On the other hand, we have the long hike of Inca Trail. It is a 4 days and 3 nights Inca Trail, and in this activity you will have to take your nights in camping. Okay. Well, what about the Inca Trail duration? Well, it is open all year round except on February. Here we have a photo of Aguascalientes town. Okay, it is also known as Machu Picchu town. When our passengers arrive in the train station, one of our metropolitan touring representatives will wait for them with a sign, of course, and take them to the bus station. The estimated time from the train for the bus station, as you can see here in this photo, this is the bus station. The time from this part to the top of the mountain to the entrance of Machu Picchu will be about 30 minutes. Okay, this is a very small town. To be honest, there is not much to do, but there are some people that enjoy exploring these kind of places, so could be kind of interesting for them. This is a very important information. This is the time of permanence and capacity in Machu Picchu. Okay, passengers can enter to Machu Picchu from 6 a.m. in the morning to 3 p.m. Okay, if passengers want to do the regular visit to Machu Picchu, the maximum time of permanence inside the citadel is about 2.5 hours. Actually, our guides take that time to do the visit inside. If passengers want to have the trek to Machu Picchu mountain plus the regular visit to Machu Picchu, the maximum time inside the citadel will be about 7 hours. And if passengers want to take the trek to Huayna Picchu mountain plus Machu Picchu, the maximum time of permanence will be about 6 hours. Okay. And talking about the capacity of Machu Picchu by month, here we have that from June 1st to October 15th, we are going to have 5,600 visitors per day, and also on December 30 and December 31. And from October 16th to December 29th, we are going to have a capacity of 4,500 visitors per day. Okay. So Machu Picchu is a very huge citadel. There are many places to visit inside. There are many ways to visit Machu Picchu. And then we are going to show some of the most important attractions inside the citadel, okay? This is, for example, a picture of the Temple of the Sun. It was a sacred temple to the Incas. Only the priest and the highest ranking in the Inca Empire were allowed inside. Religious ceremonies were performed by the priests to honor the Inti. that means the sun in English. Also, we have here the Intihuatana stone. It is more than a simple rock. It is an Inca masterpiece that endures over the time. This three-level polygon casts precise shadows, acting as a sundial that mark the planting and harvesting season. Okay. Here we have the Sacred Rock. This is a large stone formation where religious rituals were performed. There are some researchers point out that this shape follows the silhouette of a mountain located behind and in the distance. Okay, it is one of the most important stones here in Machu Picchu, and many people think that the rock radiates energy, as you can see in this photo. In this image, we have the water mirrors. Okay, those are one of the most famous construction in Machu Picchu. It is a circular formation, like a plate, made of stone carved in the ground, and when filled with water, it projects the reflection of the sky. Okay, the Incas used it as an astronomical observatory. Also, we have here the Condor Temple. This temple is conditioned on natural cave, taking advantage of living rock of the mountain. And this is an impressive temple dedicated to one of the largest birds in the world, the condor, Condor andino. And here we have the Eastern Colcas inside Machu Picchu. The Eastern Colcas were located in the staggered manner of the slopes of the hills. They are buildings, well, this kind of buildings were used as warehouses. Okay, these buildings have a ventilation system for food preservation. Okay, what else to do in Machu Picchu? We have two additional options in Machu Picchu. Okay, we have the Machu Picchu mountain trek and the Huayna Picchu mountain trek. Okay, I want that you see this part of the photo. Okay, which is Machu Picchu mountain and which is Huayna Picchu mountain. In the regular photo of Machu Picchu, this mountain here is Huayna Picchu, and in front of that is the Machu Picchu mountain. As you can see here, this guy sitting in Machu Picchu mountain. Okay, this is the difference. What is the capacity of both mountains? We have 200 spaces per schedule and 2 shifts per day. So we have 400 spaces to Machu Picchu mountain per day, and we have 400 spaces for Huayna Picchu mountain per day. Okay, and this will give you another view of Machu Picchu, definitely. What to pack to Machu Picchu? It's important to know what you can take to Machu Picchu or what you must take to Machu Picchu. Here we have some recommendation to pack. Lightweight rain jacket, important because it can rain every time. Comfortable hiking boots, a day pack, sunscreen and sunglasses, water bottles or hydration system, hat or cap, high energy snacks, layers of clothing, insect repellent, of course, there are many mosquitoes. We are in part of the jungle and the mountain of Cusco. Cameras, personal medication, your passport, of course, very important, and headlamp or flashing because sometimes it's cloudy. Okay. In the bottom of this slide, you can see the dimensions that we suggest for the bag to Machu Picchu. I'm talking about the climate, Machu Picchu. Okay. Well, as you know, the weather is unpredictable. Okay, but we can separate in dry season and wet season. Okay, from May through September, this is the dry season, and from October to April, this is the wet season. This is the average of temperature on each season. Okay, so we recommend visiting Machu Picchu all year round. There is no problem if there is rain during the season. you can visit Machu Picchu all year round. Okay, here we have some very good recommendations for you. Okay, with us, you will always have a guide, a very good guide in its local history and culture, who will give you a memorable experience. That is true. Guides are an essential element to have a pleasant and complete experience. And at Metropolitan Touring, we work with the best in each destinations. We can operate a special guide for children and handicapped. Here I can tell you a very funny story. When I went to Machu Picchu with my little daughter, who was 6 years old at that time, she told me that there is only rocks in here. And I was like, yeah, but this is a special site. And at that moment, I realized that how important it is to have a guide specialized in children. Okay, it's very important. And we have a special tour with guides for children in Machu Picchu. Okay. And what else? Tickets are not refundable, of course. That is a rule in Machu Picchu for the entrance tickets. Tickets to the Citadel, Machu Picchu Mountain, and Huayna Picchu require early booking and carefully planning. Okay, since I told you before that we have 400 spaces for each mountain, we need to purchase the ticket in advance. Okay, about the luggage carried to the Citadel, one piece weight, no more than 11 pounds, is important to know. And to keep the, here we have the keep excess luggage at your hotel in Cusco, okay? When the passengers go to Machu Picchu, they don't need to carry all their luggage, okay? We, as a Metropolitan Touring, take care of taking the suitcases to the hotel in Cusco. So when they return from Machu Picchu visit, they can find their luggage in the hotel. So this is a coordination of Metropolitan Touring in the internal, okay? Here we have some recommendations to don't take to Machu Picchu. Don't use self-sticks, tripods, or extension of any kind of cameras or cell phones. This is very important because some ways in Machu Picchu are kind of narrow, so you can hit someone with this kind of selfie sticks. You can bring big backpacks or bags, enter with heels, and of course, it's not allowed to access with strollers. Inside the Citadel, there are some llamas, and there is not recommendable to feed the animals. Okay, and I hope that all of this information will be helpful for you. We have here a suggestion for you to combine Machu Picchu and Galapagos, to combine all the culture and history of Machu Picchu with all the nature and beauty of Galapagos. It's a very good option for you. So if you want any package, you can contact us and write us on the mail below. We also have for this month a special offer here for Peru. If you travel until July 2024, you will have an additional commission and benefits for your clients for free. Okay, if you want to know more about this special offer, you just have to contact one of our destinations experts, and you will have all of these benefits.
Okay, so before we go into the questions that Giancarlos is going to help answer, I want to tell you a little bit about what's to come. So our next webinar, our next Peru webinar specifically, is going to be about the adventurous side of Peru. We talked a little bit about the Inca Trail here. We're going to mention it again, perhaps go a little bit more into detail about it on this webinar, but also give you an idea of what other adventure activities you can find, kayaking, the treks you can do zip lining, among others. This will be Wednesday, August 21st at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you have your phone with you, this is the time to book your spot. So I'll give you a little bit of time to do that. If not, then we will be sending you this in the next couple of days. So don't worry, you can still press the book your spot button when you get the presentation. Going on to the next slide. Let's wait a second for it to load. Here we go. We have another webinar that is a little bit sooner, that is about Galapagos Island. Remember, we mentioned that you can do an extension to Machu Picchu with the Galapagos Island and see a little bit of the best of both worlds. This will be Wednesday, June 26th at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can also get your phone and book your spot, or you can wait for us to give you this information in the next couple of days in our follow-up email. So having said that, we have some very important questions that have come our way during the webinar. The first one is from Maria Eliana, and she's asking, for guests spending the night at Aguascalientes, do guests have to leave their belongings at the hotel before taking the bus to Machu Picchu, or is there a storage service up in the ruins?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. This is a very good question. There is not necessary to take all your stuff to the mountain. You can leave that in the hotel. And when you return to the hotel, we are going to manage to take the luggage to the train station to your return to Cusco.
Okay, then we have a question from Karen. She's asking, is there a minimum recommended age for children who are visiting Machu Picchu?
Well, we can say that the minimum recommended age to visit Machu Picchu could be 6 or 7 years old. Of course, there are no restrictions. Any age can visit Machu Picchu, but we recommend at least 6 or 7 years old to the visit of Machu Picchu.
Okay, now we have a question about passports. It's also Mariliana. She's asking, is the original passport important, or could it be a copy of the passport?
It's important to bring the original passport for enter to Machu Picchu. You can take the copy, but maybe we can have any problem, so it's important to have the original. Mm-hmm.
Yep, like Jan said, it is mandatory for you to take the actual passport. Also, continuing with the passport, I have another question here. It says, if we issue the entrance tickets to Machu Picchu with a passport number and then renew our passport, can we still enter Machu Picchu since our passport number is now different?
Yes, absolutely. This is a very good question. Well, you can enter to Machu Picchu, but it is important that passengers bring both passports with them to be able to show the passport numbers at the entrance of Machu Picchu. So by this way, you are not going to have any problem to enter to this citadel.
Now we have a question about the trains. It says, what's the difference between the Vista Dome and the 360? Which are both the trains, you know, the panoramic trains.
Okay, this is also a good question. The trains are also the same, okay? They have very big windows, and there are not many differences, okay? They are almost the same. The only difference I can say that the 360 have a special carriage in the train. It works like an observatory carriage. So you can go to this carriage and just have a panoramic view apart from your seat.
Thank you very much. Then we have a question from John. It says that if there will be another webinar in the future explaining the new circuits, or if we will be sending this information via email. We don't have a webinar planned for the circuits. However, if you have any questions in depth, then you can definitely write to us, and we can either make a quick call or we can send you more in detail information. Something very important to remind is that regardless of which circuit they decide to go in or which circuit they go through Machu Picchu at the end, here in Metropolitan Touring, we will make sure that they enjoy Machu Picchu to the max, regardless of the circuit that they have. Something that we have seen is that there are very well thought out circuits. They have the explorer in mind. So don't worry, we will make sure that whichever they receive, they will have the best Machu Picchu experience possible. But also, like I said, John, if you have any further questions, you can write to us to our email and we can either have a quick call with one of our destination experts, or we can send you the information that you need. We also have another question. She is from Kathleen, who's asking, what is the political environment like in Peru now? Like, is it better than before?
Well, the government of Peru is always trying to improve the sustainability of all the attractions in Peru. That is why they are keeping and improving these kind of changes in Machu Picchu. So as I showed before in this webinar, there are some things that we can take to Machu Picchu and one we can do in Machu Picchu. So we are trying always to preserve and to have a very good sustainability of the attractions in Peru.
And also something important is we know how the political situation was at the moment, but at the moment it is very safe to come to Peru. Everything's okay. We've had groups of people, we've had fam trips, we've had cruises, and everyone is having a great time. Everything is operating without any issue. So things are definitely back to normal. Then we have another question from Karen. She's asking if the Rainbow Mountain is currently open and if Metropolitan Touring can arrange that experience.
Okay, for this experience, we recommend you to visit Palcoyo Mountain, because Vinicunca or Rainbow Mountain sometimes it is very touristic and massive. So in Palcoyo Mountain, you will have 3 different mountains similar to the Rainbow Mountain, and it's a special site. There are not many people, and we recommend that visit to Palcoyo. We can send you more information about this hike, and it is a very good option to visit.
Okay, we're going to be taking a couple of more questions. So if you have any more questions in mind, this is the time to write them down. I have one here that says, can I enter Machu Picchu without a guide?
Okay, thank you for the question. I have to tell you that it's not allowed to enter to Machu Picchu without a guide, okay? At least at the first entrance. For the second entrance, you can enter to Machu Picchu without a guide if you show that you visit Machu Picchu the previous day.
Thank you. And we have what I think is the last question, unless we have someone still writing it down. It says, if I buy the tickets to Machu Picchu, can I later make changes on the date or the names?
Well, no, it is not possible. It's important to keep in mind that tickets to Machu Picchu are not refundable, and we can't change names or dates. That's are the rule.
We have one last question from Maria Eliana. It says, I heard that one-use plastic bottles are not allowed in Machu Picchu or food. Is this right? Is this information correct?
Yes, that is right.
Something that we can arrange if your passengers do not have a bottle or a reusable bottle. It is something that we can definitely arrange for them, and something that our destination experts will talk about you when booking a trip that includes Cusco or Machu Picchu. They will talk about the reusable water bottle that we have. No food. There is Well, we're going to answer this question because it's a continuation to the other one. It says, do you recommend bringing any snacks, or is it better not to take anything to eat up there in Machu Picchu?
Well, you can take with you a small snack bar. Some people want to take that with them, so it is allowed. But you can enter with a lot of food. That is the rule.
Okay, so that was our last question. Thank you, Ali, for our last question of the webinar. I like that you guys have been really active and asking questions. I think that is super important. If you have any further questions that come up at some point, or you're re-listening to the webinar, or you're checking the information that we have on the PowerPoint presentation, and you want to ask something else, you can write to us at info@metropolitan-touring.com.pe. You can also visit our webpage. We have a webpage that is dedicated to destination experts, which is our portal, which is undergoing some refurbishment so that we will get some new cool things for you in the future. So stay tuned for that. Or you can go into our webpage, and we actually have a Machu Picchu blog in there that you can also read to find out a little bit more detail, perhaps. So without further ado, thank you very much for coming over. It has been a pleasure being with you. I will leave Jan so that Jan can also say goodbye to you guys.
Thank you very much for your participation in this webinar, and I will see you soon.
See you soon, everyone. Hope you can join us on our next webinar. Thank you very much.